Okay, so this first, well, it's not the first episode, it's actually the first one I have edited though, so that's why I might accidentally say the first episode. It's back in November, so there's a few videos at the minute. I'm just trying to put together because I did have the footage for them on the GoPro. However, I didn't have the GoPro when I started actually recording a lot of the stuff that I was doing. It was on a phone, but I lost the phone, so I don't have access to that stuff anymore. So I'm re-recording like an intro video and everything else, which you'll have already seen if you've seen this, because I will have put that on first. This is just a video back to like November when I sailed over to St Tropez. Ignore this, like I was just having a moment the other night and thought, I wonder if you can dreadlock your beard. And for the first day, it looked quite good. Now I need to take it out because it doesn't look good anymore and everyone keeps looking at me. But anyway, yeah, first video I've edited, so if it's a bit rubbish, bear with me and I hope they get better. But here it is. I think I'm gonna move to St Tropez for the weekend. I'm not sure that's what I want to do, but go out on the sea for a bit and then go from there maybe. Obviously it's winter, the sky seeing better days. And I think it's one of them where the wind sounds a bit worse than it is. I think that's just someone's thing banging. It's not meant to be windy, it's meant to be about 10 kilometre winds. It's not that far either, about 21. No, not even that, I don't think. But yeah, I'm gonna, if I do go, 'cause I'm still a bit undecided, still can only use the head sail because this one is not quite operational yet. I'm just going to go check what the sea looks like first. It's not that that's normally a problem, it's just I'm probably going to end up having to motor quite a bit, so yeah. Okay, so the sea's fairly flat. I don't think it's going to get sunny today. I probably need to leave now because there's not much wind. Ideally the wind changes and points the way I need it to. It's looking that way. If it doesn't, I may as well go the other way, but it says it's going to change. So if I set off now, it's going to take, I don't know, I'm probably going to do about 2 knots an hour or something, but yeah, it'll be good. This boat, I've not like done any sort of cruising since I got it. I bought it last winter in about 20, if that, nautical miles that way. The engine didn't work. I spent ages getting that working, then I've moved it down to where I moved from just the other day, and apart from like a few little trips in and out, that's all I've done. So this will be like the first relatively, and it's not even big, but bigger trip that I do on it. Ideally it would be sunny, but you can't have everything. Bike's loaded, ready to go. The deck, I need to get rid of stuff. I need to probably get rid of this paddle board. Well, it's actually a sailboard. That needs to go because I need a bit more space than I've got. But we're gonna start the engine, we hope. It was all going so well. Oh. Press the glow. take one. Now take two. That's always a good sound. Should be easier than that, I know. Big cloud of smoke coming out of the back now. Right, so that started. Inside's mostly alright. There's nothing that should fall. The sea's quite flat anyway. Now I've got to untie this absolute crisis that the guy did the other day, so there we go. Okay, so we're out of the port. Reversed out of there dead easy, to be fair. There was enough room. Sometimes the boat next to you, when it's longer, it's just that little bit extra that you have to get around. Anyway, we're out. The sea's quite flat and there is wind going. As I say, that's the way ideally I'd go, down towards like Cannes and ideally end up in like Antibes. However, later on in the day the wind's due to switch direction towards St Tropez, so I don't want to end up going into the wind if I go that way. Also going this way, I've seen this morning when I was having a look, there's an island, port cross, and the port there, it's like one of these, it's a natural park, I don't know how that was starting to say. It's a nature reserve, so like anchoring's forbidden, and they've recently like done some like eco like buoys there. They stop in October and it's now November. However, when looking for they've got like 70 pontoons. They're not ideal in the Mistral, but it's not a Mistral right now. And it's one of them where they don't have electric, they don't have water, they don't have showers, they've just got a toilet. So I'd quite like to then stop off at like Hayes, however you say it, near Toulon, load up, make sure my solar panel and stuff's working, and then head over there for a bit, a few nights. It's at this time of year there won't hardly be anyone there. Like I went to Porquerolles before, which is 2 islands on from it, and that was in like February, and there was hardly anyone there. So now it'll be like quiet. Anyway, I'm going to go get a sail up so I can turn the engine off because the noise is doing my head. So with that, it was time to at least get a genoa up and turn the engine off and try sail for a little bit. So what follows is not the best way you've probably ever seen anyone putting a genoa up, but I got it up, so. The electrics are still broke, so I don't have a working chat button today. I do have avionics on my phone. You can see St Tropez as you get to it, because I always get a bit confused and think I'm there when I'm not quite there. I say always, I've been like twice. But not in this boat. Put the engine into it. Get that sail further out. I hope we don't get too windy because it's this close to just rigging. Anyway, we're going to turn the engine off and see if we move it. In the end, we've had to put the motor on. Persevered for maybe an hour and a half. I don't like using water, but I just wanted to move. Like, I've been in that part. I did move obviously from the one port to the other day, but I've been in that part like all summer, so I just wanted to change the scenery, not to be looking out over the same bit of sea for a little bit. So So I went today, but the wind was meant to change, so by now it should be blowing, but there's literally zero, no wind whatsoever. And the one thing I hate more than the sound of the engine is the sound of the sail slapping, so hopefully it'll come back. We're probably like halfway now. It'd be nice if it came now and could sail the last part of it. So, sorry about the noise of the engine, but St Tropez is just coming into view over there. I'm not sure you'll be able to see it on the video. Yeah. That was the sound of everything falling off the shell. I don't quite know how it survived this long and then decided to fall off. Still haven't seen another sailboat out. What is important, I need to fix this mainsail because, you know, I might have been able to sail a little bit more today if that was working. There's too many parts of it that aren't working, like the rope. Yeah, I said rope. The rope is like frayed, so you don't want to like half put it up and then the rope snap. Or you also don't want the frayed bit to get stuck once it's up and then not be able to get it back down. And then the boom as well, it's like, it needs like a new, I don't actually know the word for it, but the part where it connects to the mast, I'll put it here if I can think of the word, that's not really connected properly either, so it's just a bit of a risky one. Although the way the wind's been, like, there's just none anyway, so I think even with the mainsail, I find this quite a bit in France. Like, it's what's forecasted, or in the Med, what's forecasted and what actually ends up happening is two different things. So it did change direction. So this morning it was blowing west to east, and I needed it to then blow east to west, and it did do that, but it's just not blowing. So it's a shame as well, because this part here, like around the Gulf of St Tropez, when I had the boat that I had before, I was all I did was move it from Marseille down to where I've just been then, but I did it like port. I didn't really know what I was doing, but where I was for that winter, so it weren't last winter, it was the winter before, this guy kept coming back showing me like footage of him and his friend on this boat, and then they saw like dolphins just off the Toulon, and every day I thought, I'm going to see a dolphin, I'm going to see a dolphin. I didn't see a dolphin, and it was only like the last leg of the trip was this leg but in reverse, and there was dolphins just over there, but they're not going to come while the engine's going, and you know, I keep hoping it'll pick up so I can just do the last part with sail, but it's not looking likely. However, it's nice to be out on the water. I don't know why more people aren't out on boats in the Med in November, because yeah, you have days where it's bad, but you know, a day like today, I can feel the sun on my face, like it's warm. I've got a t-shirt on, and there's not all the people, so well, I am going to look into when I get into. Again, I don't know if I'm going to stay in St Tropez. It's World Cup and the football's on, and there's like a it's not remotely an English bar, but there's English people in there often, called Monroe's, and they're likely to have the football on, so that's in Port Gramode, so it might be worth staying Port Remo tonight. It's just a bit further on. Or Port Coquelin. I quite like Port Coquelin, it's a big port, but the last time I went there they put me in a really tight space and getting out was an absolute nightmare. But yeah, we're gonna see. The last thing, well not last thing, well, edit that. So just over there, I don't know if you can see on the video, you've got like the big buoy there, and then there's rocks here. You can, if you go directly through, make it through there. However, you have to get just the right bit, and without the chart plotter working properly, I'm probably not going to risk it. So I need to aim. You won't be able to see, but there's rocks there, and then there's a channel you can go straight through that, but I'm going to go around just to be safe. Sail down, but yeah, sailing along. We've come around just so I could go past, because it's nice to go past. We're here. So stop one, St Tropez. Tomorrow we might go down to Grumod or Coquelin, I'm not too sure yet, because as I said, I need to do some repairs on the boat. Not necessarily repairs, more just things I need. This obviously, not being able to use the mainsail, you can't rely on wind, you know. 10 kilometre winds is fine, like that'll do what I need it to, slowly-ish, but then if it doesn't pick up to the forecasted wind, then it ends up being a long day. But yeah, St Tropez. Okay, so this was the morning after. I did make it in. This is a voiceover that I'm doing now because I recorded this 2 months ago, but I did lose the phone I had with a lot of the footage, so I've just been piecing it together, and it'd be a shame not to use it because it was like a day of, a lot of the day was with the engine, but yeah, it'd be a shame not to use that footage, so I'm having, like I said, voice record now, which feels a bit strange, but yeah, as you can see, I did make it into St Tropez. Some pretty impressive boats as well, like these are right at the front. I did have quite a bit of footage again on my phone of what I was doing while I was around St Tropez, but again I lost that, so I'm making the use of the footage I've got. So hopefully it gets better, but here we are. There is so much so much teak to be seen. Okay, so I hope it was alright, the video. As I say, it would just be a shame not to use it. I'm going to stop going on about a lost phone now, because I've probably mentioned it multiple times before this video. It is what it is, and I'm just going to make sure from now on I am getting the footage and backing it up and editing it pretty much straight away. So my laptop's actually been broke, hence why I've multiple reasons why, but anyway, I am now going to try get on top of it, because yeah, it's all there to just getting lost in what I'm saying. It's all you know, I've done loads, not loads, but bits before this, and I regret that I didn't really have it's nice to look back on it and see what I did, and it's quite nice to share it with other people, because a lot of this I'm doing it on my own. So, you know, things happen and you can't go, whoa, look, there's a dolphin, to whoever you're with, because there's no one there. So the only way I can share it is like this, I guess. So let me know if you enjoyed the video. I've watched that many YouTube videos that I should know what to say at the end of a YouTube video easily, but like, subscribe, comment, like, don't be too harsh. Like, it's not been the best month, so, and it's cold and it's winter, but you know, if you've got any tips or you can tell me the things I'm doing wrong, go for it, like, it's fine. And then I've also put a link to the bottom for coffee page, whatever it is. If you want to buy me a coffee, I'll have a coffee or a beer, who knows. But yeah, the next episode is going to be then me sailing from St Tropez over into Port Grimont. I didn't have much footage from Port Grimont on the GoPro, but I did get some footage then of sailing back to here where I originally left from, and that was quite a windy, wintry sail, so that should be some quite good footage. But yeah, see you next time.